Hey y'all, it's Elisha and welcome back to Elisha's Crafty Hoplop. And it is Sunday, y'all, which you all know is my favorite day. Usually I use it to plan for work, for school, for crafting, for swaps, for Happy Mail. I do crafty administration and all that sort of thing. Well, today I just get to plan for me and crafting. What a blessing that is. Oh, I am looking forward to this summer like no one's business. Oh yeah. It is another sunny day here. It feels warm-ish. Likely not safe for me to go out. That's good because I have a lot of tidying up to do around here. But I want to say that this craft series, these videos we did in response to your questions and the things that you asked for, have been liked by experts and by beginners alike. And I want to thank a couple of people who came on and came up with some other great suggestions for white core that I hadn't thought of or I'd forgotten about. Well, Misty C texted me this morning. She was like, hey, what about embossing? Have them emboss it. And then Bettiana made the same suggestion, and I had forgotten about that option, and it's a good one, y'all. If you emboss your white core cardstock, people won't even pay attention to the sides because it'll be so pretty from embossing. So that is a really great workaround that lets you use it for card making. And yes, you're still going to have the crackle at the top. You're not going to be able to get around that. But at least the embossing will be so pretty that people won't pay so much attention to that. So I thank Misty C and Bettiana today for that suggestion. It's a great one. What I loved is that expert and beginner crafters alike loved this series. And this is why I'm hoping I can engage some other people to co-host this. And every week to feature a different crafter who can offer you different advice. There's a number of reasons for that. One, preference sometimes comes into it, but mostly experience does. And there are things that I'm just not qualified, I don't feel, to teach you. Scissors being one of them, because I'm still figuring it out. It took me 2 years to figure out my scissor groove. And I told you, most people use dollar store scissors for their first year. Crafting with Liller used dollar store scissors. Expert level crafters were using dollar store scissors for a long time until they realized what a disaster it was causing them for a number of reasons. I also told you I have hand issues. I suffered a stroke and I have autoimmune that causes extreme hand pain. Those little We Are Memory Keeper precision scissors, if I use those to fussy cut, I have an hour maximum and then my hand hurts something awful. But if I use the spring scissors, I can cut for longer. But there's challenges with that. The spring scissors aren't quite as accurate as other scissors. But I've learned to use them because it enables me to fussy cut more. So if I'm doing a bunch of fussy cutting like this, I can't use those little memory keepers because I'll never get through the cutting. Nope, I'll have to quit after like 40 minutes. The spring scissors enable me to do it. Also, I do a lot of packaging. And I was having to clean my scissors every night because they weren't Teflon coated. And so all sorts of gunk would get stuck to them. And y'all know by now I don't like dirty craft supplies. I take really good care of my supplies. So I was cleaning those scissors every night. So for me, it's also important that things do not stick to the scissor. But some experts raised an important point, which is most of the Tim Holtz scissors are serrated. And that means they're great for a certain kind of cutting. Not so good for precision necessarily. So you see, there are so many factors involved. And you know those little threads that make you all crazy? You can't cut those with regular scissors. You need special scissors. That's why I put Tennille's video, Paper Milkshake's video, down below, because I wanted you to understand scissors are one of our most complicated tools. They seem so simple, don't they? It seems like, what should it matter? What should it matter? I can just use a pair from the dollar store. Not necessarily. Depends what you're using them for. And it's so vast that I feel I want a real expert crafter to do that video. I know Christina wrote, she's like, but I need help with the scissors. And I want to give you the help. So I will show you what I have this week. And at some point this week, I'll do a video showing you what I have and what I use them for, what the upsides are, and what some of the challenges are. But I'm by no means a scissor expert at this point. I'm just not. I'm still figuring some of it out. It was comforting to hear the experts say that they have whole drawers full of tools that they shouldn't have bought, wish they hadn't have bought, and oh, if they could redo things, would never buy again. And I'm hoping those very people will be kind enough to do a video and participate in the series so that you learn about those. I also want to thank Susan Tootsie Tucker, who is a very innovative maker. She's one of our most innovative makers. She melts down Easter grass. Oh yeah, she does all sorts of experimenting, and she is like honest in a way that I wish people were honest, not just about crafting. But she tells you the way it is, and with a funny little Southern story behind it or saying. So it's also joyful, even when she's got to give you a punch. It's a punch with a little bit of sugar at the end. And that's a rare thing in life. Well, she came up with another good idea for the white core. Now, I know the Clean Crafters said, please, no distressing. I want to be able to do this without distressing king. And I hear you, right? It's great. Look, the white core, you can use the heck out of for shabby and vintage. We know that. And distressing king. But a lot of you wrote to me and said, please, 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 I'm a clean crafter, no distressing. And that's why we tried to give you options that didn't involve inking. Okay. But Susan came up with a really good idea, and it actually, I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, you're right, Susan. I remember you doing that, and it did look great. When you're die cutting out foliage, and I know you guys said no distressing for the Clean Crafters, but this is a good suggestion. If you have a distress ink or a tattered angels, you can die cut with white core and use that white edging to your advantage. Susan's done it, and it looks really pretty. You can make a neat effect on it, so it's deliberate instead of it being accidental white core. And that's another good idea and well worth using. So I know it's not, that doesn't really cross into a shabby or vintage. You could do that as a clean crafter. So I wanted to thank Susan for that suggestion too. Misty C also wanted me to remind y'all that the big bite that I talked about, which is the big version of the We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile, is also easier for people with hand issues. So true, because I'm one of them. And a couple of you also who are expert crafters reminded me that it can cut through like pretty much this much thickness. I told y'all it can cut through a lot. And one subscriber said she used it to cut through aluminum cans to make a birdhouse out of it. So that big bite really is useful. Some people skip buying the crocodile and go right to the big bite. Just so you know. It's also sets eyelets. It's a big tool. You have to get used to working with it. I love it. I didn't even know what it was until Heather wanted one. And then P was like, how do you not have one of these? And then she gifted me one. And now I'm mad crazy about it. Jimmy Lanny wrote in after the video though and said the one item that's making her crazy is the same item that is currently making me crazy. And so I decided to share it this morning, y'all. That's the Chomper. I just wrote to Misty this morning about the Chomper, complaining. And to Pete, it's inconsistent. And I didn't know anyone else was having this problem. The Chomper, for those of you that are newer to crafting, is like the We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile. It's made by them, but it's a corner rounder that goes through chipboard and heavy materials. Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. I wrote to Misty and Pete today because I'm going nuts with it. Sometimes it works great in corner rounds, and sometimes it ruins my whole darn project. It is so frustrating. It's making me insane. So it's like I feel like I'm playing roulette with my projects. Now I'm trying it on the chipboard before I do all my. I used to feel confident enough that I could dress it and then corner round it. Oh no, not anymore, because it has ruined so many projects. Well, today Lanny writes in and says she's having the exact same problem. So Misty suggested, like all things, the blades can get dull. So I may need to sharpen it. And how you sharpen it is with tin foil, the same way you hand sharpen your own scissors. And I know some of you want a brief tutorial on that. I've done one before. I will do a very quick one on camera and show you how to do that. There are better tutorials on how to do it. And I'm going to link one of those down below for you. But you can sharpen it. Okay, that's one option. But P and Misty both say there's a better corner rounder than that. And Misty's not sure it's sold anymore. And P's going to share it with me, and we're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to share it with you. Because if there is a better corner rounder, notice I didn't talk about corner rounders yesterday. That's because I'm frustrated. I have yet to find one that works well enough. Like Lanny, I find them inconsistent. The one from Hobby Lobby doesn't work well. The one from We Are Memory Keepers doesn't work well. The one from Ali is garbage most of the time. I didn't even want to send that on to somebody. I haven't found a good one yet. That's the truth. And that's why I didn't mention it yesterday. I do think a corner rounder is an essential tool, but right now I just do it by hand most of the time because I don't trust that chomper. Yeah, I'm like Lanny. I need a new corner rounder. So I'm going to ask people who are experts in other areas to step in, especially in areas I'm not an expert in. I'll tell you the other thing I'm not an expert in. Punches. And I don't love the Fiskars punches the way other people do. I don't. I have to be honest. They will replace them for life, and that's important. These ones, you don't have as much control, meaning you can't determine, like, let's say I want to cut out a specific little pattern in a paper. This only goes in as far as the punch does. So a lot of people like the handheld ones. Okay, so I got the handheld ones. They went on sale at Tuesday morning for $5. I think they're terrible. I'm not happy with them. So I am not a punch expert. I feel I have yet to find my punch groove. I know people hate the Hobby Lobby punches, and I find a couple of them are okay. Not terrific, but okay. The EK Success for me seemed to work the best, but I have yet to find my punch groove. I think I'm going to Stampin' Up, y'all, because I'm not happy overall with my punches. So that's actually one of the things I want to talk to Tammy Stamping Therapy about. If she's willing to host one of these, would she show us these Stampin' Up punches? Because I wonder, I hear they're better. And so let's see. So that's why I want others to step in. There are some things that I have not yet figured out. I mean, does this work well enough? Yes. Is it great? No. And I don't feel that any of them are that great, but that's my personal opinion. Lots of people love the Fiskars punches. So, you see, I need someone else to do that video because I have yet to find my ideal punch situation. All right, so let me tell you all some funny things. First of all, Miss Sheila got some glossy accents. Oh, you're going to make magic with those. You are indeed, Miss Sheila. I was so excited. I was so excited for you. I was like, you go. You're going to make so many great projects with it. So I'm excited for you to use that. Yay for you. Yay for you. I want to say that, I don't know if you all took a look at Solae's Treasure Journal project, but oh, it's such a beautiful idea to make one of these for your family. Solae, I loved it. It's an in-process video, so it's also useful for those of you who want to make books and want to understand how a hinge works. Solae shows you right away while showing you the book because it's an in-process video. So it's kind of like a gift because you learn how to do a hinge, but you also get to see this beautiful book. And the idea behind this book is amazing. So I'm putting Solae's project down for you down below. Solae Enchanted by Craft, in case you have not checked out her video. Oh, you want to. You want to. One, you'll learn how to make a hinge better, but two, more importantly, you'll just see this gorgeous project. It's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I want to remind you that today is Crafty Lisa's wishing well, where you can go make some teeny wee wishes. She also runs a program similar to our wee wishes. We also only have about another week, y'all, for you to leave your wee wishes. So I'm going to put a link to that video in the comment section below. Don't forget to make your wee wishes and your weighty wants so other people can grant them. And if it is possible for you to grant other people's wishes, please do so. And don't forget, y'all, wishes do not have to be new on this channel. Often people will be like, do you have an extra circle punch? And people do. And they'll gift it to you. And a used punch often is fine, as long as the blade hasn't super dulled. So that's a great way to get some punches that you don't have. There's an idea, y'all. Dawn H did a wonderful haul video with some really unique items. That was fabulous. And she was saying that she's changing her craft style. I don't agree. I think you're just expanding it, Dawn. And we all sort of saw that coming slowly. We all remember Dawn made me that beautiful book. I won it in her challenge. It's just a stunner. But she's exploring mixed media. She's working on mixing Maggie in with that. Now she's adding quirky characters. You're not changing it. You're just growing. And I personally, as someone who watches your channel, finds that very exciting. So if you're not watching Dawn H, I will put a link to her channel down below, but I think you're going to want to keep an eye on this lady because she's doing all sorts of fun things lately, really fun things, and I think they might spark ideas for you. So, well, Craftpurge officially has launched our mermaid crafting for the summer. I've been waiting for it to happen, for someone to launch their mermaid project that will officially say we are in mermaiding season, and Craftpurge Tony did it. And she did it with a wonderful contest entry, and she made a beautiful mem decks. So I'm going to put a link to that below. But folks, that officially marks the start of Mermaizing crafting. That's it. It's the start of summer crafting, y'all. That was our kickoff. Shiny Silver Treasures, who really can do almost anything. I'm a big fan of her work and her channel. I find her very joyful. I find her relaxing to watch. But she does everything very well, from card making with or without a UK card kit. But this week, folks, she's up to it again. She took an old CD, and I love people that reuse products. You know that. I do care about the planet. I care about people most of all, but I do care about our planet. I do. Because it's going to eventually feed people and look after people, right? So she's taking old CDs and making the most amazing mixed media projects with it. She's been doing that a little while now. But today's Fairy Garden one, oh my goodness, it's a stunner. So I'm going to put that down for you below. Because it's really like a special treat. It really is. Now, the other day I wanted to do a shout out for Kimberly Creates because she's been making these just delightful bookmarks. These deckled, distressed, vintage bookmarks that are just, quite frankly, they're lovely. Also, her videos are joyful, y'all. They just are. So I'm putting a link down to her channel below today, too. I had so much fun today. Turtle Dove did a food haul, and I cracked up. One of my best friends growing up was Korean. I grew up eating bulgogi and kimchi. When I go to a Korean restaurant and I order kimchi and I want a fairly sizable amount, they look at me like, if they don't know me, they look at me like I'm an oddball. I'm like, no, it's hot. You won't like it. And they also, there's this thing about North Americans not liking the smell of kimchi. For me, kimchi smells like home. So if I go into a new Korean restaurant and they don't know that I'm a native kimchi eater since I'm 2.5, and I order hot kimchi soup or I order something else, they're like, no, you don't want that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do. Especially if I'm sick, I want kimchi soup. And they're like, no. And then I say, just bring me a plate of kimchi. Well, I'll tell you what they do. They bring me this teeny little amount. And while I'm waiting for my food to come, I say, can you please bring me a bowl of rice? And they do. And I eat all the kimchi before my meal comes, and they're shocked. And I'm eating the kimchi without the rice. I occasionally have a little scoop of it, but they're like, I said, I told you, I love kimchi. And I love kimchi in all different flavors, out of all different vegetables. My friend's grandma used to make it in a jar and bury it in the backyard. Homemade kimchi can't be beat. Store-bought does not taste anything like it. And restaurant kimchi, if someone's in the kitchen making it, can be okay. But nothing tastes like my girlfriend's grandma's kimchi. That's special kimchi. But anyway, I loved your haul, Turtle Dove. I loved it because I thought about you hauled miso paste. I love miso soup, but it made me long for kimchi and bulgogi and galbi and all sorts of things. Oh, what a great video, y'all. All right, so let me see if I missed anything because I had a lot of updates. You know, our very own Bonnie Myers won the Paper Treasuries giveaway. Congratulations, Bonnie. That is super exciting. Super duper exciting. I was so happy for you. Ara is a really fantastic, chunky dunk Maggie Holmes all heart maker. You're going to love everything she sends you. I'm so happy for you. What a gift of inspiration. Truly, what a gift of inspiration. Our angels have been up to it again, and you're going to see that over the next 24 hours. I know because people told me they got their packages, which means there'll be videos coming up very shortly if they're not already up. I'm going to be showing angel cards later today. We do have some in, and they're beautiful. So I'm excited to share them with y'all. I had one more important update, and it's like my brain just suddenly became a sieve. I was laughing because Crafts by Deanna? She was saying, we're old people. We go to bed by 10 o'clock at night. But I'm about the same age, and I go to bed sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning. I must be an oddball older person. I don't know what it is. Either that or autoimmune just makes you not sleep that well. But she had a story, I tell y'all today in her video, that just took my breath away. It's one of those things that can happen. And I don't want to do a spoiler alert. You should just go check it out. But she had one of those fluky, weird things happen that can be terrifying, only to turn out to be just fine. It was a great story. You did a great job telling that story. Yeah, it was a fabulous story, actually. I really can't believe it. I know there's something else I wanted to draw your attention to today, and I'm afraid I'll have to wait for later because I can't for the life of me remember what it is. I will alert you to the fact that I am not getting updates. So I didn't know that Tennille, Paper Milkshake, received my package in Australia. So exciting, because that means they're getting there. Except that was mailed after Solae's first package. Solae, I'm going to the post office tomorrow. I think your package is lost. So I need to figure out what happened with your first package. But at least they're getting there. But why didn't I know? I have Paper Milkshake on notification. I am not getting notifications. So this morning I went and took a look through a whole bunch of friends' channels and realized I'm missing their videos because they're not coming up on my notifications. And while I was busy with school, I was relying on that. Well, that system is not working well. So just a reminder, y'all, if there are people you don't want to miss their videos, go directly to their channel and make sure that you're not missing them. And that's my piece for today. Well, I need to do a bunch of cleaning up and reorganizing and getting the angel cards ready for later today. I hope whatever you do, I hope it's truly something that makes you happy. I gotta tell you, the happy video for me today, and this is how I want to end today's video, was watching Gina open up her happy mail from her friend Sheila. They have a beautiful friendship, and my heart swells every time you two chat about each other or you send each other gifts. I have to say this is a friendship born out of YouTube, and for me it's a prime example of the incredible bonds that can be built on here between genuine people, and it's something that just makes my heart swell. Gina, your happiness today, oh, it just made me so happy for you. Your joy was so palatable. It was tangible. I could touch it almost. It was amazing. So your friendship is just a blessing to us all to watch and an inspiration. We should all be as kind to our friends as you two are to each other. And that's how I'm going to end this video. All right, y'all. Wishing you a happy, crafty, healthy, and creative Sunday. Bye for now.